Hello friends! We have all been surprised at some point by the strange greetings that politicians lavish on special occasions, sometimes loaded with body language that shows who is in charge and who obeys. Opinion article: Strange political greetings. Now they've gotten wider with the health crisis. Sniper's bullet struck a Trump window. The bullet didn't penetrate the bulletproof glass, but it set off alarm bells. The New York Young Republicans occupy Wall Street. Black Lives Matter nominated for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize. Large portion of California's Highway 1 falls in the ocean. UK wants to use children to spy on their parents. Myanmar Army seizes power, arrests elected leader. China's quantum satellite helps send secure messages. Let's start. Many official political events are usually filled with strange greetings and handshakes, supposedly Masonic, that set conspiracies theorists' imagination soaring, to which former President Trump was no stranger, but now speculation has multiplied because of even stranger greetings brought on by the health crisis, such as greeting each other with the elbow. There is also speculation that some political greetings are Masonic because of the position of the fingers. By the way, Donald Trump was a well-known and long-standing aversion to shaking hands with strangers. It has been known since 1997, when he published in his book, "One of the Curses of American Society is the simple act of shaking hands," in quotes. I personally like more the Oriental customs of keeping distances with respect and courtesy, because I have an Asian soul, not Chinese but Nepalese, like Buddha, who was born in Lumbini. Senator Lindsey Graham greets with elbow bumps and not handshakes. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez does it by putting her hand on her chest. Senator Bill Cassidy offers hand sanitizer, and Senator Marco Rubio washes his hands so often that he must now use moisturizer for his hands. On July 13, 2017, then President Trump's unconventional greeting of Brigitte Macron, the French president's wife, upon her arrival in France, became a source of ridicule on social media. The bizarre handshake of Trump and Pope Francis also gave much to talk about at the time. Strange Bible. In the case of Biden's inauguration, there was talk of a strange Bible, an adopted dog, a young poetess, and other curious facts. Joe Biden's arrival as president occurred in the midst of many unprecedented situations, such as a ceremony with social distance and decorated by masks on all the faces on the attendees, and the absence of the outgoing president. There was also much talk about the return of the presidential mascots to the White House, as well as the memes alleged by the strange Biden family Bible, in which the new president was shown in the gloves of Senator Bernie Sanders and the declamation of the youngest poetess. This German Shepherd is the first adopted canine dog to arrive at the center of American power from a shelter. After Donald Trump broke one of the unwritten traditions of the American political establishment, that pets give votes, it was the Delaware Humane Association that rescued him and his siblings because they were suffering from asphyxiation due to the exposure to toxin. it's always good to rescue animals. Young poetess. The Finnish touch was provided by Amanda Gorman, a young black poetess, writer and activist who at 22 years became the youngest inaugural poetess in the history of inaugurations, following the swearing-in of the new president. In 2014, she was named the first young poet laureate of Los Angeles, and 3 years later, the first national young poet laureate. Earlier in the day, Kamala Harris also took the oath of office with the help of Justice Sonia Sotomayor, the first Latin justice on the federal Supreme Court. The vice president took the oath with her hand on top of 2 Bibles, which was somewhat unusual. One belonged to a family friend, Regina Shelton, and the second was owned by the late Justice Thurgood Marshall, who was the first African American to sit on the Supreme Court. Also shocking was the participation of Lady Gaga, who performed the American anthem, as Jennifer Lopez, who sang "This Land Is Your Land," composed by Woody Guthrie and turned into a national anthem. Excuse me. Privileges. Some of the president's privileges are a secret service that watches over his security, the Beast, which is the name of the presidential limousine, the Marine One helicopter, the Air Force One plane, which is a Boeing 747-200B, a salary of $400,000 taxable, $100,000 for tax-free travel, $50,000 for expenses, and $19,000 for entertainment. After the president, he is left with $200,000 in compensation, an annual pension of $200,000, and $100,000 in widow's compensation. Apart from the White House, which is the official and working residence, there is a Camp David to receive foreign leaders, and Blair House, which is the residence for guests. Attack on Trump. On Tuesday morning, at approximately 3 a.m., a sniper's bullet struck a picture window on east wall of Trump's bedroom at his Mar-a-Lago estate. The round could have killed Trump had he not recently replaced the tempered glass with bullet-resistant glass from Blast Structures International, Mike Baxter reports. A confidential source inside Trump's inner circle told Real Raw News that Trump was asleep in bed and a light sleeper, but was awakened by the sharp crack of the bullet striking the glass. The bullet didn't penetrate the glass, but caused a material science dissipation fracture or spider web pattern. The shot triggered a silent alarm that instantly notified the Palm Beach Police Department and the Secret Service of Trump, who was sleeping in the guest house 10 yards from the main building. Officers took Trump to safety, escorted him to a fortified safe room, and said they would coordinate with local authorities. Trump names lawyers to lead his impeachment defense team. The former president's office said Sunday that trial lawyers David Schoen and Bruce L. Castor will lead his legal team during his impeachment trial in the Senate. Trump expresses support for Republican Marjorie Greene during call. Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene said Saturday that she received a call from the former president during which he expressed support for her. New York Young Republicans reoccupy Wall Street in wake of GameStop debacle. Members of the New York Young Republicans organized a reoccupy Wall Street rally Sunday over the financial sector's manipulation of GameStop stock after a Reddit group launched a buying spree. A large portion of California Highway 1 near Big Sur collapsed into the ocean. A large portion of California Highway 1 was washed out this week by a winter storm that brought heavy rain and snow. California Department of Transportation officials said in a statement Friday that a hillside debris from flow over the highway overwhelmed drainage infrastructure, flowed across the roadway and eroded the roadway, resulting in the complete loss of a segment of Highway 1 at Rat Creek, about 50 miles south of Big Sur, a mountainous stretch of the state's central coast. Silver price high. The price of silver rose to a 5-month high on Monday, and small silver miners listed in Australia surged after calls on social media to buy the metal and emulate the frenzy that has sent GameStop shares up 1,500 in 2 weeks. Spot silver rose as much as 7.4% to $29 an ounce, the highest level since mid-August. Troops to remain in Afghanistan past deadline, according to a new report citing senior North American Treaty Organization NATO commanders. Coalition forces will not leave Afghanistan in May. There will not be a full Allied withdrawal by the end of April, a NATO official said. According to the source, the conditions have not even been met to justify a full-scale withdrawal. Black Lives Matter nominated for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize. The Black Lives Matter movement has been nominated for the 2021 Nobel Peace Prize. The nomination was announced by Peter Eide, a member of the Socialist Left Party who sits in the Norwegian Parliament. No comment. Health crisis. UK wants to use children as undercover agents to spy on their parents. As part of the UK government's covert intelligence bill, the UK wants to use children as undercover agents to monitor their own parents. It allows 22 state agencies, including the intelligence service, the army and the police, to use children as undercover agents. The bill allows the recruitment of 16 and 17 years old to spy on their parents while allowing them to break the law in doing so. Tony Blair calls for immunity passports. Tony Blair has called for immunity passports to be implemented worldwide and urged to the UK to use its upcoming position as chair of the G7 to press other countries to do the same. Germany says AstraZeneca vaccine 8% effective in people over 65. According to a report by Germany's Standing Commission on Vaccination, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is only 8% effective in people over 65 years, German coalition sources told the tabloid Bild and Handelsblatt. Coup d'etat in Burma. Myanmar Army seizes power, detains elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi. Myanmar's army seized power Monday in a coup against the democratically elected government of Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi, who was detained along with other leaders of a National League for Democracy party in early morning raids, the military said it had carried out the arrest in response to alleged election fraud, handing power to military chief Min Aung Hlaing, and imposing a one-year state of emergency, according to a statement issued by a military-owned television channel. China's quantum satellite helps send secure messages over 1,200 kilometers. Two observatories in China have used a quantum communication satellite to send a record-breaking encrypted message over 1,200 kilometers, an important step toward building a secure quantum internet network. China launched its Meteus quantum satellite in 2016. This produces pairs of photons that are quantum entangled, meaning that the average state of one photon is linked to the measured state of another one, regardless of the distance between them. NASA's Perseverance rover to begin epic journey on Mars this month. NASA's Perseverance Mars 2020 rover will land on Mars in Jezero crater to search for signs for an ancient life that may have existed on the red planet in the past. The vehicle, which is the largest, most advanced rover NASA has ever built, will act as a robotic geologist, collecting soil and rock samples that will ultimately be returned to Earth in the 2030s. For that reason, Perseverance is also the cleanest machine ever sent to Mars, because it's designed so that it will not contaminate Martian samples with microbes from Earth and prevent it from providing a false reading. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.